Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to put together this corner fireplace TV stand. I really do like it. Make sure you check the parts for damage before you open it all up and put it together. We did have a couple parts that were damaged, but this is what the end result is going to look like. It's got a room for sound bar. It's got two little shelves on the sides. It does put, I've got the heater on now, so it's putting out a very nice heat right here. You do get a little bit of glow from the heater. The fireplace has several different colors and settings you can put it on. It's got this nice little remote for it. So we are very pleased and very happy that we spent a little extra money for the fireplace that looks a little bit better. It does have some depth to it. I've got a 70-inch TV mounted to the wall, so we don't have to rely on it sitting on top of it. But there's what a 70-inch TV looks like on top of it. It's not very loud when the fireplace is going on, when the heater's going on. Now I can turn the heater off. It does beep at you when you do settings, when you do things with the remote. So I'm going to show you how to put together this corner electric fireplace TV stand. So this is the Churchill 51-inch corner media TV console. We got it off of Home Depot, and they did have it in stock, and they shipped it right away. So it comes in two boxes. This box is really heavy, and then the fireplace is in another box. Okay, so I cut it open. On the flaps on one side come open, and it's got a bunch of styrofoam in it. Okay, so there's quite a few parts in that box. Make sure you get them all out and inspect them. Now, a couple of our parts did have a little bit of damage on them. So make sure you inspect all your parts. They do give you a piece of paper to call if any of your parts are damaged. Make sure you find this little white box. It's got all the hardware in it. It was kind of hidden in the box. So here's what's inside the hardware box, and it does come with a manual, assembly instructions. Okay, so we're going to start with step 1 and step 2. Okay, so on number 7, you're going to need these. And these are like little inserts that are threaded. So you're simply just going to screw that in there and then tighten it down with a Phillips. Okay, so I don't recommend tightening down these super tight, but just give them a turn and they'll sort of stop. Okay, so this base took 8 of those. Now you've got to find number 14, and it's got 2 threaded inserts, and we're going to slide it underneath here and put screws in it. Okay, so I've got the 2 Allen head screws and then this plate, or this wood piece here. Okay, so on to step 2. I've got this bigger one, number 9. Number 10 is a triangle, and then these little pieces of wood. Now this one's going to be a little tricky because it can be installed a couple ways, but it's got this threaded insert. It's going to need to point to the right for later on. So we're going to be putting screws through here into these threaded inserts. Same with here, these pieces. We're going to be joining this triangle to this piece with this, this, and this. We're going to be using a bunch of these screws with the washer. These are these Allen head screws with the washers. They're going to go through here and screw into that threaded insert. Okay, so these take the washer. Now it's the same screw for this, but you're not going to put a washer in. There's going to be one side is recessed, so the screw can go down in there, and then it'll come out. Okay, on to step 3. So I've got this piece laying out like this, and now you're going to need to put these things. These things have an arrow, like where that opening is. That needs to point towards that opening. So when you put it in, you're going to put it in like that, so that that opening is pointed towards that. And we're going to fill all those holes with those and point those to those. Okay, so when you put those on top of those little pins, and then you got to kind of like quarter turn these, or about half turn until they get tight. And that's going to tighten them down. Okay, so we've got those pieces in. Okay, so put this bar across with the screws and washers. And then make sure you put these things in, because there's going to be some pins going on the top there. Okay, so make sure now we're going to put number 7. Make sure you've got the pins in. Okay, so now number 7 goes on. It's got a notch here, and then you got to line these pins up. Once you line those pins up, it'll drop down. Okay, so make sure you get the screws in the outer one, and there it's starting to come together. Okay, let's go to step 5. I've got this number 8. Make sure you put your things in. Okay, so it goes in like this. The back side is unfinished. The front side is finished, goes this way. And same with this little thing. Comes in from the front. Okay, so now we got to put this lid, and we got to line up these pins. They're going to go in here and over here. Okay, so they don't give you any extra pieces. This is what I'm left with. Make sure this piece goes in one way. It's got a short one that way. Okay, so it's really starting to take shape. And then here's what it looks like from the behind. Okay, so 11 and 12. 11 goes on the left. Make sure you got the finished side pointed forward. And same with 12. They got arrows on them so that that hole ends up at the bottom. And you're going to install it with these little bitty Phillips screws, wood screws. Okay, so these wood screws go in relatively easy, but there's no hole. The only hole is on this panel. There's no hole on this side. So you got to kind of push. Helps if you got like a little drill to kind of push them in and turn them. Okay, so with those backs on, it's pretty well done. Those screws went in really easy. Okay, so then the last thing are these little shelves. And they go right in here, and we got to put these little pins. Okay, so there are adjustables, but you got to put 4 of these in here, and then you can put your shelf. And there's where your shelf. So the shelf is adjustable, and then we got to take these stickers off. Okay, so it's time to put the fireplace in. The fireplace does have these nice handles on both sides to lift it up. Here's what it looks like. It's got a plug in. Looks like they're a fan. And we got to put it in there. So the fireplace does come with a manual, a remote, and some screws. Okay, so you got to slide the fireplace in from the back, and there's these little brackets. The screws are for those brackets on each side that you're going to screw into the wood. So just sliding it in, it looks fine. So you don't have to lift it up to screw it in. Just slide it in, and then the screws are going to help if somebody pushes on it. It won't push back. Okay, so I got it plugged in. There's a little plastic piece to slide out. Ooh, that looks nice. Okay, so what's nice is the display goes blank after just a little bit after you change it. So I can change the temperature. I can change, there's F1, F2, F3, F5. So all the F numbers does is change the background. Now it does have this glass on in the front. You can see the heating element. There are controls up here. I can change the temperature. The F1's up here. So it does have like a backlight. So if you hit this top right button, there's like a light that comes on inside the fireplace. So I can do something with the logs. This bottom right button, it's kind of making the logs glow. I'll have to read up on that, but it does do something with the logs. Okay, so then I've got this other log button right here. So if I press it, you'll see an L5. That changes how bright the logs are. So I've got L1, which is pretty dim for the logs. L5 is really bright. Okay, so let's go over some measurements. This thing, when it's sitting on carpet, is exactly 33/8 inch. Now let's go over all the way to the back corner. It's 37. And it's about 41. It's about 35 to that. So you got to have your TV above 33 inches. I've got my 70-inch mounted to the wall, and it is above it. So we should be able to slide this back in. Now we do have some room for everything, the cables and everything to sit back here. But this is what it looks like before you slide it in. Okay, so we've got it all installed. It looks really nice. Getting everything, the cables back there was kind of a chore. That can be kind of tricky. Now I want to go over some of the measurements. So this top shelf, you're only allowed about 5. And this shelf, oh, maybe about 9. And then another 11. They're not super deep. 8. Fireplace looks really nice. The only thing I didn't like was there are some stickers, just that sticker right there, and there was a sticker right there to get off. And then the only damage we had was on these pieces here. We're going to try to get a pin that matches it, the color-wise, and color those. But other than that, it looks really nice. So we're glad we bought it. Getting the TV was kind of the tricky part, getting that measurement. So again, with carpet, it's right around 33 inches, but what we didn't recognize is this TV had a little thing sticking down for the infrared. So the TV was here, but this thing stuck down. So I had to redo the brackets on the back of the TV. And for some reason, ours just doesn't quite fit all the way back. But it still looks okay. If you can't get it all the way back against the wall, I've got some brackets going on that were kind of preventing it, but it still looks really nice. This is a 70-inch TV, and that's what a 70-inch TV looks like. And I know it's off-center just a little bit. So again, we're very happy with this purchase. Thanks everybody for watching.